Suggesting that you would sell the company to Saul Sotomayor while Calvin and Stephen are in captivity?
I'm going to do no such thing, Counselor. I'm going to have a meeting. I have a responsibility to protect my fund's investment and a fiduciary responsibility to all of our shareholders. Sotomayor wants to meet, so we're going to meet. You're not invited.
That's reckless and irresponsible. Calvin and Stephen said no to that deal weeks ago.
I would discuss it with them, Counselor, but they're not available on Sal's timetable. I suppose you'd find it less irresponsible if I paid out millions of our shareholders' dollars to a pair of armed bozos named Ben and Jerry, therefore making us complicit in a federal crime. Sounds like you might have missed a few days of law school.
You're playing with fire.
I built this barn. I get to play with the matches.
I'd never warmed up to Daniel Steyer. The guy had an undeniable knack for sniffing out genius, and he wasn't nearly as sexist, elitist, or insufferable as most investors, but I never got the sense that what we were doing at Envision Inc. mattered to him beyond the company's valuation. And regardless of the smokescreen he was putting up at the meeting, it was clear that he was intending to sell to Sotomayor while Calvin and Stephen were being held hostage, and potentially at risk for their lives. That was cold, even for an investor. Meanwhile, I wasn't terribly sure that Special Agent Husani was the best man for the job for bringing home our co-CEOs. He seemed to be hand-picked, and Matt Damon wasn't going to be playing him in the movie, you know? And the true wild card in all of this was how crazy Ben and Jerry actually were. Ben and Jerry. Jeez. As I sat in the conference room that morning, I had no way of knowing what Calvin and Stephen were truly facing.
You want to say something to me, Sam?
Yes, I do, Dennis, but I'm not talking to you.
That's mature.
Mature? You committed a felony.
No, I didn't. We did. We're partners.
Right. We're partners. Like Bonnie and Clyde.
It depends on which one of us is Bonnie.
This isn't funny, Dennis. We could go to prison forever.
We're not going to prison, Sam. Trust me.
Trust you? You're acting like a psychopath.
Psychopath, entrepreneur, fine line.
I can't believe you, Dennis. First you get me thrown out of college, then you cost me my dream job, then you pull a gun at a rich guy's party and kidnap a pair of technology legends. I didn't know you had a gun. I didn't know you even knew where to get a gun.
You get him at a swap meet. Take it easy, cousin. I got this gun to show the world your talent. You didn't need a mountain of college debt. You don't need a McJob. I'm going to get us the startup capital to make you a technology legend. Our company, Green Duck Software, will change the world.
You're delusional. Our lives are over.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that. I have a clear vision, an extraordinary, long-range, wildly expansive vision. Now show some optimism. You're going to piss me off.
Dennis, I am not a criminal. 2 days ago, you weren't a criminal. You think rich people want to invest in felons?
Actually, they do. We just have to make the right ask. Look, all my life I've tried to play the game, but we don't come from where they do. You think I'm a criminal? Did you forget about all the Armani scum we met traipsing up and down Sand Hill Road?
It's their money. Just because they're rich doesn't mean they have to give it to us.
I wasn't asking for a handout. It was an opportunity. They're all morons.
So this is where you go? This is where you make me go? What happened to the guy who used to look after me on the playground?
Sam, I am still looking out for you. Only the playground has changed. Look, I have a plan.
Oh, you always have a plan. None of them work. We should just leave these guys here, dial 911, and get as far away as we can.
I can't do that, Sam. I am all in. If you're not with me, I understand, but those guys are useless to me if they can't help me raise capital. And if they're useless, then I'll have to treat them that way.
What does that mean? Are you threatening to kill them? What do you want me to believe, Dennis, that this crime is okay? I mean, go on. Sell it to me. Sell me like you'd sell your mom.
Fine. Look at the facts. Choi and Finkelman are each worth several $billion. Their company has an enterprise value of over $36 billion. $5 million for their return is nothing.
We don't know how to do this. We're nerds. What do we know about ransoming executives?
If those guys died, their company loses $100 million in market cap on the first trade down. Wouldn't you pay $5 million to save $100 million? Maybe all $36 billion. Of course you would. It's a business decision. Simple risk mitigation.
You can't actually believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. Why couldn't they prosecute us after Troy and Finkelman are released? They're just gonna, happily leave us here to compile code at Green Duck Software?
No, Shanghai. China has no extradition treaty with the U.S., and they have a growing tech community. They fly us over on the company jet, and we set up shop there.
China? We don't speak Mandarin. I don't like Chinese food enough to eat it forever.
With the money we'll be making, you can air freight and lasagna and Mountain Dew. There it is. You told me to sell it to you like I'd sell my mother.
Does my aunt know she raised a madman? Dennis, I'm sorry. I can't do this.
You're going to do this, cousin. What separates us from them? A tiny bit of luck. We're smart. They're smart. They got lucky. We need to get lucky! Look, let's not argue. Bond with them. They like you. Pretty soon we'll set them free, and you'll be coding your heart out on the other side of the planet.
Between being concerned about how unhinged Ben and Jerry might be and how opportunistic Steyer was being, I felt like I had to do something, even if that something fell far outside of ethical conduct. We were dealing with lives here. Lots of lives, not just Calvin and Stevens. Everyone knew what would happen if Adam Hart bought Envision Inc. Massive layoffs in the name of synergy. It's the same story that got told every time huge companies merged. A handful of rich people got richer, and a boatload of everyday people got kicked to the curb. And even though I was one of the people who had come into a windfall, I couldn't sit idly by and watch it happen. So I used my resources. A resource I promised myself I'd never go near again. My heart hurt when I thought about doing this. It hurt even more as I walked through the Golden Gate Park looking for one particular bench. It was a familiar heartache, and I kept telling myself I was doing this for a just cause. I would be more honest with myself some other time. Reunions never go the way you think they will. In this one, I'd just have to accept the risk.
Hey, the signal's good and strong today, Kimo Sabi. I swear the museum has boosted the Wi-Fi for our benefit.
Well, as long as I don't cut it off if they don't like what I have to say. Well, then I'm in their debt.
Hey, no more dwelling on the
What's with you? You look like you've seen a... Sylvia.
evil mother of satanic providence. It cannot be you.
Producer Lee Creighton. The Peter principle proven correct again.
How did you find us, foul nightmare?
I'm smart, Doposaurus. I work for a big tech company. My coworkers know about tracing websites. I hear you're up to a few hundred listeners. Start of another comeback?
Guess I'm not having as good a year as you are. Nice clothes. Still no ring, though.
How very 19th century of you to notice.
Hey, I'm just saying. Could have been wearing one for a long time by now if you changed your mind.
I changed my mind? That's how you remember it? Maybe all of that boozing has finally liquefied your brain.
Look. I don't have any money. Okay? If that's what you want. You wasted the cab fare coming here.
I got a good deal from Uber. And you think I want your money? Who's sleeping in the park and who's wearing Versace?
I already complimented you on your clothes. Don't go fishing. So you heard I was back on the air, and you traced me to the urban wilderness. What do you want?
Let's start over, shall we? Hi, Sylvia. You look fabulous. What's it been? 20 years since you beat the rap for me as my public defender? How about that? 2 upstarts from Cleveland, one up on slander charges for accusing a Superior Court judge of embezzlement on live radio. The other, a starving storefront attorney making national headlines for defending his First Amendment rights. My, we've come a long way.
Hey, that was a long time ago, Sylvia.
Yes. And everything good happened to him after you left.
Stay out of this. And I didn't leave. He left.
Oh, you obviously remember it wrong.
What part do I remember wrong? The part where I quit my job to help you manage your newfound fame? Or the part where I moved into your flea bag apartment until I negotiated a syndication contract for you and we bought a house in the suburbs? Or the part where I visited you every night at the station and we had dinner together before the show until you started missing the dinners because suddenly half the women in Cleveland found you irresistible.
It was more than half, and they were hot.
And where did it lead you? To nothing. You brought all this on yourself, Balthazar. All I wanted was a nice life and to do something of value.
Hey, getting famous screws with your mind. You could have given me another chance.
I gave you all the second chances I could. I had to move forward. We both had to move on.
All right, fine. Then why are you here? You won, okay? I lost. Is this fun for you?
No, I wouldn't call risking my career fun. You were good, you know? Your show was good. People listened to you because you had something to say. They even kept listening to you after you turned into nothing more than a shouting match, which is a testament to what you had going on underneath.
Don't chastise me, sweet Polly Purebred. You became consigliere to the vultures.
I did what I had to do to survive. At least I put a roof over my head, and a nice one.
Then go home and redecorate. And let me do what I do.
That's why I'm here. I have something for you. Something you shouldn't have.
He doesn't want it.
Oh.
You're toxic.
You want this. It's something that will drive up your numbers considerably.
Oh, yeah? How considerably?
Oh, so now I have your attention. How about that? You've heard of Envision Inc.? The company where I work down in the valley?
Yeah, of course I've heard of it. It's a huge name in this town. I saw that your CEOs got kidnapped a few days ago.
There's a scoop available, if you want it. The kind of justice for all stuff you used to like before you started pounding on people for kicks. Problem is, I have a mild conflict of interest.
Do you want to throw your bosses under the bus?
Not my bosses. They're the kidnapping victims. Unfortunately, their lead investor has no intention of expediting their return, at least until he finishes selling the company out from under them. A company they don't want to sell.
Now, how do you sell a company the founders don't want to sell while the founders are kidnapped?
You're starting to see the story. Here are a few talking points.
There is something about this that stinks, boss.
Stinks, Producer Lee Creighton? Let me tell you about this great new invention. It's called a shower.
Hey, sorry, counselor. I don't want to run with this. It's too combustible. I mean, I'd have a bounty on my head.
You'd be famous again. And you would do something important for the people who need to know.
How does this help you? I mean, this isn't just a risk for your career. I mean, you could do hard time for this.
It helps me because it's right. There's still a public defender inside of me. Maybe there's still a journalist inside of you.
I don't think so, Sylvia. But thanks for thinking of me.
Tell you what. I'm going to leave the file with you. If you change your mind, go live with it. If not, burn it to keep warm tonight.
Thanks for stopping by. Remember to erase our coordinates from your iPhone?
Producer Lee Creighton, why do you hate me so much?
I don't hate you at all. I just like to see my boss in a good place. You were a disaster for him. You made him feel things that
Right,
were...
Enough, both of you. Goodbye, Sylvia. Good luck getting your guys back alive.
Goodbye, Kimo. Think about it.
She called me Kimo. That's a first.
Bullet dodged. Onward, digital soldiers.
You didn't have to be that rude.
You're going to give me a lecture on rude?
And what do you think about the Envision Inc. thing, though? I mean, I know you were reading the talking points over my shoulder.
I like the idea of us using it to stay warm tonight. Maybe we could have a fire circle.
Yeah. And I certainly don't need any help growing my audience. I mean, not from her. I mean, we know how to do this.
Absolutely, we know how to do this. That we've proven. We don't need her.
She looked good, though. Right? It's a hell of a scoop.
And it will get us killed, which means not just poor, but dead.
I'm going to have another look at it.
Of course you are.
Man. I mean, this is incendiary. I mean, this could break the internet. This is rage.
How does she do this to you?
Fire up our connection, Producer Lee Creighton. We're going live.
Yes. They were going live with my confidential information. I had convinced myself it was all to save my friends, Calvin Choi and Stephen Finkelman. They had given me a dream job, and that had given me a life. Was that the only reason I took the risk? Like I said, reunions never go the way you think they're going to go.